Welcome to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. This podcast is dedicated to EAS employees of the U.S. Postal Service and members of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. So, pour yourself a cup of coffee and join us for today's episode. And now, here's your host, Robert Wakefield.
Good morning, Branch 32, and good morning, NAPS family, wherever you are listening, including Puerto Rico. I just heard last week from Joaquin Rodriguez, who is the branch president there in Puerto Rico. Thanks so much for listening, Joaquin. Great to have you aboard. I'm Robert Wakefield, president of Branch 32. Thank you so much. Got a great show lined up for you. So let's go ahead and pour that first cup. This January 29th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., the Nashville Post Office Credit Union is inviting you to do something powerful, and that's give the gift of life. Join us for our community blood drive and help ensure local hospitals have the resources that they need. Just one donation can make a life-changing difference for someone right here in Middle Tennessee. So stop by, roll up your sleeve, and be a part of something bigger than all of us. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union, people helping people since 1925. And for our first cup this morning, I'm going to conclude our Don't Quit series. It's a series I started back in December and talked about a lot of different issues. And so go ahead, grab that cup of Joe, settle into a chair, or if you're driving into work, just listen in. Today's episode is one of those episodes that can hit close to home for a lot of us, especially those of us who've been carrying the weight of leadership for a long time. We're talking today about community, and not just coworkers, not just colleagues, but we're going to be talking about your NAPS family, the people who understand the job, the pressure, the expectations, and the standards in a way that nobody else truly can. So today's episode, I'm going to call it Don't Quit on Your Community, or better yet, Don't Quit on Your NAPS Family. Maybe that's what I'll call it. So let's be honest for a second. Leadership in the Postal Service can feel like you're standing on an island with a clipboard and a radio and a whole lot of responsibility. You're the one that people come to looking for answers. You're the one who absorbs the frustration, the confusion, the why are we doing this again moments. And sometimes you're the ones that get blamed for decisions that you make or even decisions that you didn't make. You can feel isolated. It's easy to feel like you're carrying everything alone. But here's the truth. You were never meant to do this by yourself. And that's why the NAPS family exists, and that's why community matters. Now, there's something powerful, it's almost healing in a way, about talking to someone who's walked the same floor, that's dealt with the same staffing issues that you're dealing with, who has survived the same peak season chaos and read the same ELM sections, the ELM sections that you've got memorized. When you talk to someone who gets it, three things happen. Number one, you stop feeling like you're the only one struggling. You know, that is so important. I had friends when I was working, I had a lot of friends in NAPS that when things got frustrating for me, I could get on the phone. I could tell them, okay, I've got to vent a little bit. I want you to sit there and not say a word. And then I would go to town. And then they would call me and do the same thing. And we would talk about the issues that we were facing, the trials that we were going through. It really made a difference because it made me realize that I'm not the only one struggling. We all were. And I think that's an important point. The second thing I want to bring out is you get perspective that you can't get from inside your own head. Have you noticed that? If you verbalize what the issue is to someone else, maybe they've been there. And maybe they can help you through that. You just can't get it out of your own head, how to get through it. And the third thing is you remember that you're part of something bigger than your unit, your district, your zip code. You're in charge of people. You're managing people. And when you know that you've got a NAPS family to help you, that's power. It's not just support, it's understanding. It's not just advice. It's lived experience. And it's not just community, it's connection. And let me tell you something, that connection can become fuel. Now, let's talk about NAPS for a moment. Not as an organization, as great as it is, as long as it's been around. But let's talk about it as a family. You notice I started the show, Good Morning NAPS Family, because that's what it is. It's a family of leaders who know the job, who know the pressures, who knows what the standards are. It's a family that shows up for each other. A family that steps in when things get tough. A family that says, you don't have to carry this alone. When you walk into a NAPS meeting, you're not walking into a conference room. You're walking into a room full of people who understand your world. When you reach out to a NAPS rep, you're not reaching out to a stranger. You're reaching out to someone who's been where you are. And when you even listen to a podcast like this, it just means you have too much time on your hands. No. When you listen to a podcast like this, you're listening not just to the words, but you're connecting with your NAPS family. Even if you're listening in your car at 5 a.m. before your shift starts. I don't know anybody that does that, but just in case, I thought I would throw that in. But it's so important that you realize that the community works best when you participate. Not perfectly, not loudly, just consistently. Come to a branch meeting. We have over 200 members in Branch 32, and we have about 20 to 23 people that come to a meeting, right at 10%. I would love to see you make a branch meeting in 2026. Whether you're in Branch 32 or whatever branch that you are, and you're listening to this podcast, be sure you show up to a branch meeting, ask questions, share what you've learned, lean on others, and let them lean on you. Because let's face it, that's how family works. I'll tell you a story about a supervisor I heard about not too long ago. They were just overwhelmed, short-staffed, of course, long hours, pressure from every direction. They just felt like they were failing, even though they were doing the best they could and seemingly everything right. And they told me this. They said, I feel like I'm drowning and nobody sees it. And then they came to a NAPS meeting, just one. And after that, they said something that stuck with me. They said, I didn't realize how much I needed to hear someone say, yeah, I've been there too. That's the magic of the NAPS family. It's not policy. It's not a form. It's not a directive. It's just another human being saying, you're not as crazy as you think you are. You're not alone. You're doing better than you think. Or maybe this, and we've got your back. How about that one? Sometimes that's all a leader needs to keep going. So here's the part that we don't talk about enough, I don't think. Community isn't just something you receive, it's something you give. Every time you share an experience, every time you help a new supervisor understand the elm, every time you check in on someone who looks worn down, every time you remind someone of their rights, their value, or their worth, you're strengthening the entire NAPS family. You make the job better, not just for yourself, but for the next generation of leaders who's coming behind you. And that's legacy. That's leadership. That's community. And that's what family does. And another thing the family does is we don't quit on each other. That's the message for today. Don't quit on your community. Don't quit on your NAPS family. But most importantly, don't isolate yourself. Don't try to carry everything alone. Reach out, connect, ask for help, or offer help. And show up even when you're tired, even when you're frustrated, even when you feel like you don't have anything left to give. Show up. Because someone out there needs exactly what you have. And you need what they have too. We're stronger together. We're steadier together. We're better together. That's the NAPS family. So, as I wrap this up for this first cup up, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from the NAPS family. Take a moment after this episode and jump onto the chat feature at napsbranch32.org. Here's the question I'd love for you to respond to. Who in your NAPS family has made a difference in your leadership journey, and what do they do that help you keep going? You can share a name, you can share a moment, you can share a lesson, big or small, it doesn't matter. Just go there and share your story with me at napsbranch32.org under the chat feature. It comes directly to me. No one else will see it. Your story may be shared right here on the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. So, I really appreciate you listening to this first cup. Don't quit on your community. Don't quit on your NAPS family. That's going to do it for the first cup. Let's go ahead and pour that second cup. On January 29th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., the Nashville Post Office Credit Union is opening its doors for something that truly matters, our community blood drive. When you donate, you're not just giving blood, you're giving time, strength, and hope to someone who needs it most. It's one of the simplest ways to make a real impact right here at home. So come on out, bring a friend, and help us lift up Middle Tennessee together. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union, people helping people since 1925. And for our second cup today, I just want to make mention to Branch 32 that your next branch meeting will be January the 27th. It will take place at 6 p.m. at the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. I hope you'll be making your plans to be there. If you are not a member of Branch 32, but you're in the Nashville area, you're welcome to come visit with us. We'd love to meet you and get to know who you are. I want to encourage all members of Branch 32 to try to come to a meeting. If you've never been to a meeting, try to come to a meeting in 2026. I mentioned that in the first cup, and I think it's a great idea that you get connected to the family here in Middle Tennessee. So again, that meeting is January 27th, and the time is 6 p.m. at the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. So what does it mean? You know, the Southeastern Conference has a saying that says, it just means more. And that's what I'd like for it to mean to Branch 32. It just means more being in NAPS. We have the website, napsbranch32.org. That's the go-to site for every member of Branch 32. It's where you can get the access when meetings are going to be taking place. It's where you go if you need some important documents. It's also a place to go to see some photos. We've got a gallery there of pictures of different events that we've all attended. We announce the monthly meetings on the website. It's great to have that. One of the ways that I communicate is that I send out an email, and we even have a text messaging service that we text the next meetings or any events to you, our Branch 32 members. So, does it just mean more like I started off with at the beginning of the second cup? Yeah, it just means more. It means more if you are involved. So let me encourage all of Branch 32 members to be at the next meeting and get involved. And if you're in a branch outside of Branch 32, be sure to get involved in your branch as well and bring others with you. It's the only way that we can keep the NAPS family together. All right. That's going to do it for the Second Cup. Thank you so much for listening to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast presented by the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. I've mentioned the chat feature at napsranch32.org. It's the little icon down at the bottom. It'll pop up on the homepage. Looks like one of those discussion windows. You can click on that. Send me your information. Send me your stories that you want to talk about. And let's make this a community thing. I really would appreciate that. So, thanks so much for listening. And remember, every great weekend starts with a great cup of Joe. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. Please note that the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of Robert Wakefield and do not necessarily reflect the views of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. We welcome your questions and comments, so send those to SaturdayCupOfJoe@gmail.com.